Chapter 196. Cut the crap. Leave something behind before you leave. Yi-chan pointed out his right index finger in the air. Streams of invisible finger power shot out, blocking his opponent from all directions. There was only one finger power left in the middle. The brown-robed, middle-aged man's expression changed. This finger power could even penetrate his Zhanqi palm print, and if it landed on his body, it would be disastrous. However, he was wrong. The power of the void-shattering finger art could only slightly injure him at most. It couldn't even seriously injure him. Gold-shattering finger. The middle finger and thumb of his right hand turned into a golden color as he flicked out his finger. Pap! The two finger powers clashed together, and the chi spread out in all directions. The power of the void-shattering finger art has been cancelled out. It should be a mid-rank Earthrealm finger art. Yi-chan understood. Although the void-shattering finger art was at a very high rank, Yi-chan had not even learned 1/10 of it. Therefore, he could not do anything to a low-rank mid-rank finger art. If it did not have the effect of breaking Zhanqi, he might have been shattered by the finger power. Kill! His left index finger kept pointing out, breaking the Zhanqi, while his right hand held the sword and waved out the sword. At this moment, Yi-chan's fighting power had reached its limit, which he had never thought of before. The middle-aged man in brown kept stepping back. After a few rounds of fighting, he had roughly figured out Yi-chan's finger art. It should be a finger art that could break Zhanqi, and its attacking power was not that high. With the strength of his protective Zhanqi, it should be able to block out 60 to 70% of Yi-chan's power, and the remaining 30 to 40% would not be that powerful. At most, it would only slightly wound him. On the other hand, his gold-shattering finger art was very powerful, and it should be able to break through his protective Zhanqi easily. However, Yi-chan obviously knew about this weakness. Yi-chan used his left hand to break through his protective Zhanqi, while his right hand used his sword art to attack his weak spot. Flower on finger. Taking a deep breath, the middle-aged man let out a low growl. His middle finger that was on his thumb flicked out, creating a blurry shadow. Countless light golden finger powers clashed with each other in the air, layer upon layer, and eventually formed a beautiful golden flower, attacking towards Yi-chan. This move is powerful. As soon as the golden flower appeared, Yi-chan immediately sensed its structure. That thin golden petal contained an extremely horrifying cutting power, and his protective Zhanqi could not block it at all. He was afraid that even his King Kong jade body would be crushed by it. He stuffed 3 Zhanqi replenishing pills into his mouth, swallowed one, and hid the other 2 in his mouth, just in case he needed them. The Zhanqi inside Yi-chan's body started to circulate crazily in a mysterious way, and finally compressed together, pouring into his right arm and into his index finger through a special meridian. His whole index finger suddenly became illusory, and the air around it started to twist. Break! The illusory index finger enlarged by more than 10 times in the air. It was as thick as an arm, and like a shooting star, it struck the center of the golden flower. Bang 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 bang. The golden flower exploded, and the illusory index finger vanished into thin air. The brown-robed middle-aged man was shocked. The flower-blossoming finger was the last move of the gold-shattering finger. It was extremely powerful, but it had been blocked. What kind of finger art was that? Could it be that he had underestimated it? Mr. Jean, let's work together to kill this brat. Otherwise, he will be a disaster in the future. Yuan Zhongbua appeared next to the middle-aged man out of nowhere. There was still blood on the corner of his mouth, and the clothes on his right arm were fluttering in the air, as if there was no flesh or blood inside. The middle-aged man who was called Mr. Jean smiled. I am only here to stop the fight. I am not interested in your fight. Yuan Zhongbua sneered. Mr. Jean, the others might not know about you, but I do. You have killed countless warriors and taken all their wealth. You do know a lot. The smile on Mr. Jin's face did not change. But in the eyes of Yuan Zhongbua and Yi-chan, it was a very dangerous and creepy smile. Then what do you think? Although Yuan Zhongbua said that, he was secretly on guard against Mr. Jean. He had been wounded quite badly. His right arm and his back had almost been sucked dry by the minor blood demon body separating great art. If he continued to perform the minor blood demon body separating great art, his whole body would turn into a mummy, and there would be no cure in this world. Working with Mr. Jean was because he wanted to kill Yi-chan for good. But he was more worried that Mr. Jean would kill him after killing Yi-chan. The good thing was that he had the power to protect himself, and he believed that Mr. Jean knew that. I wanted to stop the fight, but this brat was just too bloodthirsty. He would kill anyone he saw. One should forgive people when possible. God is kind to all living things. In order to prevent others from being harmed by him, I have no choice but to work with you and kill this little devil. Mr. Jean always appeared in the heavy mystery mountains. Whenever he saw warriors fighting, he would step in and help the wounded side by stopping the fight. Then, he would take the chance to kill the other side. By then, the wounded side would not be able to fight with him for the wealth, and it would be easy for him. But of course, if there was a chance, he would not mind killing one of them and then killing the one who was cooperating with him. That way, he would have 2 shares of the wealth. However, this time he had made a mistake. Yi-chan's battling power was not that powerful, but that finger art of his had scared him. Yi-chan looked very serious. Mr. Jin's power was just as powerful as Yuan Zonghua when he was at his peak. He was not a simple guy, especially that gold-shattering finger art, which was able to compete with his void-shattering finger art, which had taken away some of his advantages. As for his nonsense, Yi-chan did not care about it at all. The path of a warrior had always been to walk on mountains of corpses and oceans of blood. If people wanted to kill him, then he would kill them. After getting Mr. Jin's reply, Yuan Zonghua looked at Yi-chan with confidence. I have said it before. Today, the heavy mystery mountains will be your burial ground. Yi-chan said lightly, the next time we meet, I will beat you until you become a mummy. Yuan Zonghua swallowed a mouthful of blood. His eyes filled with killing intent. Mr. Jean shook his head. A life and death battle is not the solution. I will give you one chance. Put down the storage ring on your finger as compensation for Brother Yuan's injury. I will not ask for anything, as long as you hand over this finger art manual, and let me destroy it in front of everyone. Can't you say something normal? With the pellet that could instantly replenish his Zhan-Qi, Yi-chan was not afraid of wasting his Zhan-Qi. He performed his void-shattering finger art, and a shadow of his index finger attacked towards the 2. Little devil, you are so stubborn. Mr. Jean flicked his finger at a fast speed, and a gold flower appeared. At the same time, he said to Yuan Zonghua, I will block him, and you use your sword qi to break his protective Zhan-Qi. Alright. Yuan Zonghua grabbed a bright red spirit plant and put it into his mouth. He chewed for a couple of times before swallowing it down. Feeling that his qi and blood had recovered a bit, his body flashed, drawing a red arc in the air. He went around to Yi-chan's back and threw out a sword attack. Dang! The Star Scar sword appeared in his hand as Yi-chan blocked out the incoming attack with his sword. With the attacking power of the sword qi, he increased his speed and shot towards Mr. Jean. His finger power seemed to have covered the entire surreal space. Perfect timing. Mr. Jean knew about the void-shattering finger art, so he was not afraid of close combat. He turned around and faced Yi-chan, finger against finger. They wanted to see who would be the first one to collapse. Pop! 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 The 2 were exchanging attacks at an extremely fast speed. Within a second, they had already exchanged dozens of finger attacks. Each finger attack had cancelled out each other, and neither of them could do anything to the other. Blood Eagle 3 sword attacks. Yuan Zonghua was having a headache. This brat was extremely cunning. Seeing that he and Mr. Jean had teamed up, Yi-chan had chosen to fight close combat immediately. Therefore, unless Yuan Zonghua chose to fight close combat as well, he would not be able to help at all. That sword attack had been stored for a long time before it could be thrown out. It was like he had eyes on his back. Yi-chan's real body walked out of the Zhan-Qi shadow, letting the Zhan-Qi shadow take that sword attack for him. Then he jumped towards Mr. Jean again. Whatever. With the 2 of us teaming up, can we still not beat him? Flashing his body, Yuan Zonghua also joined in the close combat area. 1 finger and 1 sword. The 2's cooperation was not perfect, but it was not that bad either. They had locked Yi-chan in a controllable area. Separate. Yi-chan did not change his expression. His body shook once and 4 human shadows flew out. It was hard to tell which one was the real one. Kill. Yuan Zhongbua had cut down 2 human shadows with one sword attack, while the other 2 had been blocked by Mr. Jin. After killing one of them, the remaining one would be the real one. Separate again. Swallowing a pellet that was hidden in his mouth, Yi Chen's Zhanqi recovered to its peak. He performed his separating shadow flying art again and again. 3 human shadows appeared one after another, stacking on top of each other. They attacked the 2 from different angles, not giving them any chance to team up. So tricky. How come his Zhanqi is never going to run out? Mr. Jin was quite regretful. If he had known that Yi Chen had so many tricks up his sleeves, he would not have been so greedy. If he could not kill Yi Chen today, then he might have to face crazy revenge in the future, which was not what he wanted. Yuan Zhongbua yelled, Mr. Jin, do not hide your ace attacks anymore. You can see that he is quite troublesome. Alright, today I will start a massacre. Mr. Jin pointed at his body a couple of times with his finger. The Zhanqi vibration suddenly increased. It seemed to be a secret martial art that could increase one's battling power. However, this martial art was obviously incomplete. After performing it, Mr. Jin could not help but puke out a mouthful of blood, and his face turned pale gold. After clashing with Mr. Jin's finger attack, Yi Chen was blown away immediately. He thought to himself, his opponent's battling power has increased by more than 10%. I cannot drag this any longer. Up until now, Yi Chen had been relying on his separating shadow flying art the most. Without it, he would not be able to dodge most of the attacks. Although the void-shattering finger art was effective in breaking Zhanqi, it was still not as good as the separating shadow flying art. Right now there was only one sword attack that he could use. The one sword attack had improved along with his cultivation, and it was still his biggest ace attack. Mr. Jin's Zhanqi protection was obviously not as good as Yuan Zhongbua's. Forcing Yuan Zhongbua away with one finger attack, Yi Chen's body kept shaking. Countless Zhanqi shadows shot out, blurring everything. Some of them were standing side by side, some were moving up and down, and some were flying at an extreme speed. What was more horrifying was that there were a lot of Zhanqi shadows that overlapped with each other, making it hard to tell which one was the real one. 2 Zhanqi shadows shot out towards Mr. Jin, with Yi Chen's real body hidden within. Break! Boom! A loud explosion was heard. One of the human shadows had been shattered, and the other one's surface had been shattered as well, revealing Yi Chen's real body. Yi Chen held his sword with both of his hands, focusing all of his attention on the Star Scar sword. He threw out a sword attack from above, and the light blue sword light formed into a line. The one sword attack from a close distance. Mr. Jin sensed that something was not right, but it was already too late for him to perform his gold-shattering finger attack. He hurried to push his Zhanqi protection layer, making it thicker than it had ever been. At the same time, he put his right middle finger on his thumb, wanting to hit Yi Chen's body the second he blocked out his opponent's sword attack. Chapter 197. Swoosh. The sound of paper being cut open was heard. Mr. Jin's protective Zhanqi layer did not last long under that sword attack. Soon it was cut in half. The light blue sword light drew a bloody line on his chest, slanted and clean. You dare to cut open my defense with one sword attack? You should die as well. His bloodied body was blown backward. Mr. Jin's face was twisted as he flicked out his middle finger that was on his thumb. The powerful finger power had also pierced through Yi Chen's protective Zhanqi layer and landed on his chest. Boom! Yi Chen could only feel like his chest had been struck by lightning. The sound of his ribs breaking could be heard clearly. Then a huge wave of power blew him away. From Yuan Zhongbua's perspective, he could not tell who was hit first. All he could see was Yi Chen waving his sword, and Mr. Jin flicking his finger. Both of them were blown away. It would be best if both of us were wounded. Blood Eagle 5 sword attacks. His powerful Zhanqi was poured into his great sword. The second Yi Chen was wounded. Yuan Zhongbua's arm turned into a shadow. He threw out 5 beams of sword chi within a blink of an eye. These 5 beams of sword chi, 1 in the front, 2 in the top, and 2 in the bottom, formed into the sharp beak of an eagle. Huge wings and a pair of sharp claws that could even pierce through steel. All of them were attacking towards Yi Chen at an extremely fast speed. The air that it touched was instantly cut into pieces, and could not gather together again. I have been watching out for you. His body was still flying backward. Nobody knew when, but Yi Qin's index finger started to turn blurry. The air around his finger started to twist rapidly, creating a small pattern. Hit! Without even looking, Yi Qin pointed out his finger to his left. Boom! 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 The sharp blood-red sword qi was shattered upon touching it. The index finger went through it and landed on Yuan Zongguo's protective Zhen Qi layer. His protective Zhen Qi layer exploded. Yuan Zongguo made a muffled sound as his skinny body fell onto the ground. All three of them were wounded. It seemed like all three of them were wounded, and none of them had the upper hand. This kid is so fucking hard to deal with. Yuan Zongguo and Mr. Jin both had the same thought. If they were in Yi Qin's place, even if their battling power was increased by 30%, they would still not be able to win against the two of them. However, as the fight went on, they had fallen into their opponent's fighting style, and were being led by the nose. Their 5-point advantage had turned into 4 points, and then 4 points had turned into 3 points. Now the 3-point advantage had disappeared, and it had become a draw. If this kid isn't killed, there will never be a day of peace. Spitting out a mouthful of blood, Mr. Jin sprinkled some healing powder on his wound. As soon as he landed on the ground, he dashed toward Yi Qin, leaving a series of afterimages behind him. Yes, we can't let him leave alive, even if we have to pay a small price. If Mr. Jin was not here, Yuan Zongguo would have run away a long time ago. Right now, with the power of the two of them, they still had the chance to kill Yi Qin. Once he escaped, they would have to worry about him in the future. Seeing Mr. Jin rushing toward Yi Qin, Yuan Zongguo did not care about his wounded body anymore. He formed a bloody Zhen Qi eagle outside his body, flapped its wings and drew a bloody arc in the air. The two's attacks arrived almost at the same time, shattering Yi Qin's body. Not right. It was another Zhen Qi afterimage, and it was 3 Zhen Qi afterimages stacked on top of each other, looking so real. Damn it, I got tricked by this brat again. Mr. Jin and Yuan Zongguo looked around, trying to find out where Yi Qin's real body was. Behind a dozens of meters tall hill, Yi Qin was standing there with his back straight. Wounding them is already the best I can do. Being greedy will only make me lose more than I gain. He understood very well that it was not because he was powerful enough to create such a situation. It was because he had controlled the battle very well, and the separating shadow flying art was the most important one. Letting out a breath, Yi Qin threw out a punch onto the hill. Boom! The whole hill was shattered into pieces, turning into hundreds and thousands of huge rocks that were thrown out, covering Yuan Zongguo and Mr. Jin who were in front of the hill. After doing all that, Yi Qin left behind a Zhen Qi afterimage as his real body flashed into the distance. The sky full of rocks had been shattered. Yuan Zongguo and Mr. Jin saw Yi Qin's Zhen Qi afterimage immediately. They were just about to make their moves when they suddenly stopped. I let him get away. Shattering the Zhen Qi afterimage with one finger, Mr. Jin's face looked very bad. Yuan Zongguo tried to comfort himself. Once a warrior reaches the clasping Yuan realm, it is not something that can be done in a day or two. There is no need to be afraid of him. After all, you and I are still more powerful than him. If it were not for the fact that he is so cunning, he would have been killed by us already. You are right. Next time we meet, we will not give him any chance. The two glanced at each other, and Yuan Zongguo suddenly backed out for dozens of steps. His wounds were way more serious than Mr. Jin's, and he would not be able to win against him alone. Mr. Jin felt a bit regretful. Being able to kill Yuan Zongguo was indeed a good thing. Thousands of miles away from the heavy mysterious mountain, there was a normal-looking mountain. It was thousands of meters tall, and had a radius of 7 to 8 miles. It was a barren land with barely any people around. In the middle of the mountain there was a hidden cave. It was half blocked by huge rocks and was full of weeds. Mr. Jin's finger power was extremely aggressive. Even my King Kong jade body was almost pierced through. Without half a month of rest, I would not be able to get back to my peak condition. Alright, I will rest in this cave for a while, and see if I can train my mysterious great art to the 10th realm. The 10th realm of the mysterious Zhen Qi should be even more powerful than the Zhen Qi trained by normal mid-rank Earth realm martial arts. My attacking power should be even more powerful. Sitting on the dry ground, a lot of thoughts flashed through Yi Chen's mind. The Pure Jade Body Boosting spell was a low-rank Earth Realm body training martial art, and Yi Chen had already trained the 5th spell, the King Kong Jade Body. With this powerful body, Yi Chen dared to fight against his opponent. Although that finger art was powerful, it would not be able to pierce through his mysterious Zhanqi layer and his King Kong Jade Body. He believed that Mr. Jin's wounds were way more serious than his, since the one sword attack was not that easy to handle. As for the mysterious great art, he had gotten it from the Heaven Dream Ancient region. It was one of the top of the mid-rank Earth Realm martial arts, especially the 11th realm, which would allow him to produce a mouthful of Zhen Yuan that only astral-reaching realm warriors could have. It would definitely become one of Yi Chen's new ace attacks. By then, killing Yuan Zonghua and Mr. Jin would only take him 2 to 3 attacks. With his current peak level 9th realm, the quality of his Zhanqi had already reached the same level as Mr. Jin, who had reached the late clasping Yuan realm. Let's not worry about that for now. Rest is the most important thing. Getting rid of all the distracting thoughts, Yi Chen swallowed a healing pellet and closed his eyes to meditate. There was no sun or moon in the mountain. 10 days had passed in a blink of an eye. On this day, Yi Chen opened his eyes again. A sharp light flashed through his eyes, which looked like the sword light and sword chi of a sword artist, extremely sharp. I guessed it right. Only battles can help me to improve faster. After half a month of rest, Yi Chen's cultivation had been completely stabilized, and he was only one step away from the mid-clasping Yuan realm. Besides that, his mysterious Zhanqi, which had been quiet for a long time, had finally started to show signs of breaking through to the 10th realm. It was indeed a very fast improvement. I should strike while the iron is hot. I might as well break through to the 10th realm here before I leave. A determined look flashed through his eyes. Yi Chen stood up and walked out of the half-closed cave. After taking a few breaths, he went back into the cave and completely sealed the entrance. Looking from the outside, people would only think that there was nothing in there, only a pile of rocks and weeds. No one would notice that there was a cave behind the rocks, and that there was someone training in the cave. He swallowed the spirit, chi and spirit pellets. Since he was not training his Zhanqi, Yi Chen did not need to use the low-rank soul stones to absorb the Yuan Qi from them. The mysterious Zhanqi followed the unique meridians of the mysterious art, slowly but powerfully running. With each cycle, Yi Chen could feel that he had absorbed a little bit of impurities from his Zhanqi, and was getting closer to the 10th realm. The 36th cycle. The 72nd cycle. The 360th cycle. Only until his meridians started to hurt a little did Yi Chen stop running his Zhanqi. He sat there with his legs crossed and closed his eyes to rest, not moving at all. The human body had the ability to repair itself, and a martial artist's healing ability was even more powerful than a normal human being's. Meridians would become tougher as their cultivation increased. It was said that once a martial artist reached the astral reaching realm, he or she would be able to run Jin Yuan continuously for a month without damaging his or her meridians. Once a martial artist reached the Sea of Souls realm, he or she would be able to run Jin Qi for 10 times longer, which would be more than enough for a year. As for what would happen in the life and death realm, normal people would not be able to understand. Even Yi Chen did not know if the training of life and death realm warriors was the same. Waiting until his meridians had almost recovered, Yi Chen continued to run his mysterious Zhanqi. The spirit, chi, and spirit pellets were consumed one by one, and the days passed by one after another. The weeds outside started to wither, and a layer of frost covered them. It turned out that the winter of the Black Dragon Empire had arrived, and everything was bleak. A woodsman was walking on the mountain road, carrying a huge wild boar on his shoulder. The huge wild boar was a rank 2 demonic beast, called the Red-Eye Battle Boar. Even Mortal Realm Stage 7 or 8 warriors would not be able to compete with it. This woodsman was able to kill a Red-Eye Battle Boar, so he must be at least at the Mortal Realm Stage 8. Anyone below the Mortal Realm Stage 5 is considered a normal human being. I could be considered the number 1 warrior in this village. The woodsman thought to himself, then found a pile of rocks and sat down. Yeah, the natural Yuan Qi here is strange. Why does it feel like it is going into a hole? As a Mortal Realm warrior, the woodsman was not unfamiliar with the natural Yuan Qi. He thought of a possibility, that there might be some kind of magical plant growing in that pile of rocks. A magical plant that could absorb the natural yuan qi was extremely valuable. It could easily be sold for thousands of gold, and if it could increase one's cultivation, it would be even more amazing. All of a sudden, the woodsman could not resist the itch in his heart. He also wanted to become a condensing reality realm warrior and explore the outside world, but he was too old. It would be impossible for him to do so within the next 10 years. If he could find a magical plant that could increase his cultivation, then it would not be a problem. The woodsman put down the red-eye battle boar and started to move the rocks. Halfway through, the woodcutter took a few steps back. Between the cracks of the rocks, there was actually a glaring blue light seeping out. Strand by strand, the blue light filled the air. That piercing aura caused the woodcutter to feel a chill run down his spine. His hair stood on end. It was several times more terrifying than the fourth-level demonic beast he had seen from afar. Whoosh! The air vibrated and a light ripple spread out. The frost on the ground cracked, turning into ice shards. The ice shards shattered and turned into a white mist. The white mist was blown away and spread out in all directions. Then the remaining half of the rocks started to shake, making a crashing sound. Seeing this, the woodsman felt an invisible pressure on his heart. Chapter 198. Weird. Let's back off a bit first. Carrying the battle boar, the axeman took dozens of steps back and jumped onto a high ground. He then hid behind a huge rock, staring at the pile of rocks without blinking. Boom! The blue light exploded. Hundreds of rocks were blown away like they were caught in a terrifying storm, shooting out in all directions. Danger! The axeman's face was pale. He dropped the battle boar and lied on the ground. The high ground looked like it had been hit by an earthquake, shaking violently. Looking from the cave, one could see that the high ground was full of holes, not much better than a hornet's nest. The only reason it was still standing was because of the huge amount of iron minerals that no one had discovered before. After a long time, the axeman crawled up from the ground. Looking at the high ground that was full of cracks, he could not help but be shocked. He subconsciously looked at the pile of rocks. The pile of rocks had disappeared, and what appeared in his sight was a pitch-black cave. The air outside the cave was like a wave. Pap, 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 pap. Footsteps were heard, and a human figure walked out slowly. Finally reached the 10th level of the mysterious great art. The Zhenqi quality is indeed different. The human figure was indeed Yi Chun. He had been training in the cave, and had finally reached the 10th level of the mysterious great art. The 10th level of the mysterious Zhenqi was extremely powerful, much more powerful than the 9th level. Yi Chun started to wonder if the mysterious great art was really a mid-rank Earth-realm martial art. Why was it so much more powerful than normal mid-rank Earth-realm martial arts? Even the best ones should not have this kind of Zhenqi quality. Waving his hand, the pile of rocks on the ground were all shattered into dust. Yi Chun looked at the axeman. Did I hurt you just now? There was actually someone training in there. This person must be very powerful. The axeman stuttered. No. I am sorry for disturbing your training. I will leave now, please don't kill me. Even though Woodcutter hadn't gone out to wander before, he had heard from some passing practitioners that high-level practitioners were most afraid of people disturbing their cultivation. Once they were provoked, they would kill at the slightest provocation without mercy. The other party had a friendly expression, so it couldn't be a sign that he was about to kill someone, right? Yi Chun smiled. If it was a few days ago, I might have been very angry. Now it doesn't count as disturbing me. Yi Chun wasn't joking. A few days ago was his opportunity to break through. If he was interrupted, he wouldn't kill anyone, but he would definitely be angry. As for the consequences of being angry, he didn't know. Oh, that's good. The woodcutter patted his chest and broke out in cold sweat. By the way, are you a woodcutter nearby? The woodcutter nodded. My house is in Huayang village, which is more than 20 miles away. It's not far from here. Usually, when I have nothing to do, I come here to hunt and share the meat with the villagers. Give it to the villagers. Yi Chun smiled. He could tell that the axeman was at the peak of Mortal Realm Stage 8. If he was outside, he would only be a commoner, but in a remote village, he would be considered as a powerful warrior. Not everyone had the opportunity to practice martial arts. I'm about to go down the mountain, let's go together. In a flash, Yi-chan appeared on the mountain path. Alright, wait for me. Carrying the red-eye battle boar, the woodcutter ran as fast as he could, following closely behind Yi-chan. To be able to talk to a powerful warrior, even if it was just walking with him, was already a rare thing. If the villagers knew about this, they would definitely worship him even more. After all, the most powerful warrior the villagers had ever seen was only a mid-condensing reality realm warrior. Judging from his chi, he was not even 1/10 as powerful as Yi-chan. The mountain was not very high, and the two soon reached the foot of the mountain. Yi-chan was about to leave, but he suddenly frowned. What's wrong? The woodcutter was a bit worried. He knew that Yi-chan was about to leave. Yi-chan said seriously, a very strong demonic chi, covering the sky and the ground. It doesn't look like a single beast, but more like a lot of beasts gathered together. A lot of beasts? The woodcutter froze for a second, then said in shock, isn't that a beast wave? Is there really going to be a beast wave this winter? Yi-chan looked at him. Do you know what's going on? The woodcutter shook his head, then nodded. 2 months ago, a warrior who was passing by told me that there would be a lot of beasts this winter. He told me to go to the city as soon as possible, or else I would lose my life. At that time I thought he was joking. There hasn't been a beast wave in the past 300 years. How could it happen now? He was right, the beast wave is really coming. Yi-chan looked up at the sky. The clear sky had started to darken, and there was a gray chi flow hovering above, forming huge dark clouds, covering the sky and moving towards them at an extremely fast speed. That horrifying aura even shocked Yi-chan. Not good, there are only normal people in the village, I have to go inform them now. You are too slow, let me give you a ride. Grabbing the woodcutter's shoulder with his right hand, Yi-chan extended his body and flew out like a huge bird. He said, point me in the right direction. Thank you, this way. The woodcutter was very grateful. Yi-chan was obviously a top-rank warrior, but he did not have any arrogance at all, which was completely different from what he remembered of top-rank warriors. Yi-chan did not think too much about it. After coming to this world, he had already learned about the rule of power. But he still had the mark of that world in his bones. If he ran into someone who needed help, and he had the power, he would not reject it. Otherwise, what would be the point of being a powerful warrior? Yi-chan's speed was extremely fast, and within dozens of blinks he had already traveled dozens of miles. Yeah, there are a lot of beasts in the sky. The beast wave was something that happened quite often in this true spirit continent. As for why it would happen, no one knew for sure. All they knew was that at a certain time, the beasts in a certain place would go crazy and start to attack the places where humans lived. The beasts that were closest to the place would undoubtedly arrive the fastest, especially the flying beasts. They were the ones that killed the most people in the early stages. They are coming. The woodcutter raised his head to take a look. Not far away, the sky was covered in darkness. Among them were Class 3 demonic beasts, red smelting bird, blood crow, flamingo, Class 4 demonic beasts, twin-headed bird, four-clawed eagle, flying lizard, Class 5 demonic beasts, ghost-head eagle, winged wolf. There were too many of them. Any one of the flying demonic beasts could tear him into pieces. Tornado broke in clouds. The Star-Scar sword appeared in his hand as Yi-chan threw out a sword attack towards the place with the most flying beasts. The next second, the tornado mixed with Zhan Qi swept over with a whistling sound, and the sword Qi shot out. It didn't matter if it was the 3rd grade flying demon beasts, the 4th grade flying demon beasts, or the 5th grade flying demon beasts, all of them fell from the sky one after another. It was as if a black rainstorm had fallen. He killed dozens of flying beasts with one sword attack. The woodcutter's eyes were wide open. He thought that Yi-chan was only at early clasping Yuan realm, and would be able to compete with normal rank 5 beasts. But now, it seemed like even rank 6 beasts would not be able to compete with him. Plus he looked so young, about the same age as his nephew. Actually, he had guessed it right. Yi-chan's cultivation had not improved that much, but with the entry-level sword intent, plus the 10th level of the Great Mysterious Art, Yi-chan's attacking power was already almost the same as the older late-clasping Yuan realm warriors. Right now, if Mr. Jin or Yuan Zongbo were to fight against him alone, he would have 70% chance to wound them badly, and 20% chance to kill them completely. Roar! A huge beast with wings on its back and eagle claws dove towards the two. Its speed soon surpassed the speed of sound, which was even faster than Yi-chan. Not good. It is a rank 6 beast, the eagle tiger beast. In the city, one could buy a beginner beast book with 100 gold, which included all the beasts from rank 1 to 6. The eagle tiger beast was one of them, and its power could be ranked in the top 100. The woodcutter had bought one before and kept it in his house. Yi-chan did not care too much about it. Compared to the windwolf, this eagle tiger beast was way too weak. Judging from its chi, it was just like a normal late clasping Yuan realm warrior. Shocking cloud. With a sword attack, a thunderous sound was heard. Swoosh! The eagle tiger beast came fast, but it died fast as well. Its head had been cut in half by the sword chi. It was killed just like that. The woodcutter's mouth was wide open. Soon the two arrived at the village. The beast wave is coming. Everyone go to the city. After landing on the ground, the woodcutter yelled out with all of his strength. What? The beast wave is coming? How is this possible? We haven't had a beast wave for 300 years. Brother Gao, are you kidding me? Yeah, although you are the #1 warrior in our village, you can't scare us like that. Hearing them, most of the energetic young men did not believe it. With one sword attack, Yi-chan cracked the small hill outside of the village, and said with a cold voice, if you don't want to die, go to the city. You won't be able to leave even if you want to. A high-level warrior? The villagers who ran out of their houses were shocked. The village head was an old man with white hair. He yelled, a high-level warrior would not lie to us. Everyone go to the city now. Don't bring anything with you, just bring some food and valuables. The villagers screamed and ran back to their houses to pack their belongings. All of a sudden, the sound of shouting, crying, and rummaging made the atmosphere even heavier. Standing on top of the village wall, Yi-chan frowned. In the distance, a black mass of flying beasts was approaching. There were a lot of them, and with his power alone, he would not be able to protect all of them. Plus, these were only some of the beasts in the early stages of the beast wave. The longer it dragged on, the more beasts there would be. By then, the number would not be calculated by thousands but by tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions. A village and a town would not be able to handle it. Only a huge city could hold on for a while. As for how long it could last, it would depend on whether it was a small beast wave or a medium one. Normally, there would not be rank 7 beasts appearing in a small beast wave, while a medium beast wave would send out rank 7 beasts one by one. Only astral-reaching realm warriors would be able to handle it. As for the large beast wave, Yi-chan did not even dare to think about it, because once it happened, even the royal city might not be able to handle it. Then it would be a real disaster for humanity. Shoo! 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 Shoving 3 Jinchi replenishing pellets into his mouth, Yi-chan held his star scar sword with both of his hands, performing his tornado-broken clouds a couple of times. Countless tornadoes were created, attacking towards the flying beasts in the distance. Swoosh! The flying beasts fell down one after another, clearing up the sky. Most of the beasts that had gathered here were from the mountains or the forests nearby, so there were not many of them. Under the lead of the village head, the villagers who had packed up their belongings started to head east. Hundreds of miles away, there was a small city called the Iron City. Chapter 199. Young Warrior. All the villagers are heading towards the Iron City. I think it will take them 2 or 3 days to get there. The axeman walked over to inform Yi-chan. Yi-chan jumped down from the wall and asked, what are the villages within 10 miles of Huaiyang Village? And Liyang Village, Big Mountain Village, Lu Family Village, Big River Village, Willow Village, and Yellow Mountain Town. The axeman said. Yi-chan said, the beasts are very fast. I am afraid they will catch up before we reach the Iron City. You tell the villagers to go to the Yellow Mountain Town first. The more people there are, the safer it will be. In the early stage, the beasts would not be very powerful. Occasionally, there would be rank 5 or 6 beasts that Yi-chan could handle by himself. But most of the villagers were normal people. Even a rank 1 or 2 beast would be able to tear them into pieces. They would need a large group of warriors to protect them. As a town, the Yellow Mountain Town would not lack condensing reality realm warriors. If they were lucky, they might even be able to find a few clasping Yuan realm warriors. Young warrior, you are right. The axeman was not stupid. He knew that Yi Chen's power was limited, and it would be impossible for him to protect the hundreds of people in the village. In front of thousands of beasts, any random attack would be able to kill all the people in the village. Alright, let's go. After performing 4 tornado-broken clouds in a row, the horrifying tornado had killed almost all of the flying beasts in the sky. Yi Chen grabbed the axeman and flew towards the direction where the villagers were heading. After an hour, they met the villagers of Liang village. After 6 hours, the villagers of the big mountain village had gathered. The number of people had grown from 300 to more than 1,000. This group of people was heading towards the Yellow Mountain town, which was 10 miles away. Xiao Gao, who is this young man? He killed so many beasts by himself? The chief of Liang village asked the axeman. The axeman scratched his head and said proudly, "He is a high-level warrior. As for his name, I did not ask. I didn't ask. Anyway, he's a powerful high-level martial artist. Yeah. If it weren't for him, I'm afraid we wouldn't have been able to survive." The big mountain village chief stared at the corpses of the demonic beasts in the distance and was shocked. This was already the 3rd wave of beasts that Yi Chen had killed. Each wave had hundreds of beasts, and the most dangerous one was from the front of the group. Obviously, they were beasts that lived near the Yellow Mountain town. Yi Chen was able to fight against an experienced late-clasping Yuan realm warrior, and he also had a couple of wide-range attacks from his Sky Cloud sword art. Added with the Zhanqi replenishing pellets, he was barely able to protect the group from harm. Even so, over 100 people had died during the 30-kilometer journey. There are more demonic beasts coming from that direction. There are so many of them, at least 1,000. Along the way, some warriors who were passing by volunteered to protect the group. Most of them were mid-condensing reality realm warriors, and there was only one late-condensing reality realm warrior. The one who spoke was a man in his 30s, holding a huge machete in his hand, which was dripping with blood. Yi Chen said, "I will try my best to kill them. You guys protect the group? Alright, you be careful." The man knew that Yi Chen was very powerful, and the beasts in the early stage would not be able to hurt him. Shoo! With a shake of his body, Yi Chen split into 3 Zhanqi shadows and rushed towards the beast wave side by side. Kill! Yi Chen's real body created a tornado with his sword and attacked the beast wave, while the 3 Zhanqi shadows blocked the other beasts with their bare hands. After killing hundreds of beasts, Yi Chen could not hold on anymore. He yelled at the group, "Everyone, get ready to fight. Don't worry. We are not here for nothing." Dozens of condensing reality realm warriors stood in front of the thousands of people. Although there were only a few of them, their aura was not weak at all. Some of the villagers who had reached Mortal Realm Stage 5 and above also walked out. They might not be able to deal with beasts above rank 2, but they could still kill rank 1 and rank 2 beasts. Roar! All of the beasts in the sky had been killed by Yi Chen, and all that was left were the low-rank beasts that could not fly. These beasts rushed towards the group of people, their roars coming one after another. A lot of the children were so scared that they started to cry. The women were shivering, holding their children tightly. Kill! 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 Under the lead of dozens of condensing reality realm warriors, including the axemen, all of the villagers who were powerful rushed up, their eyes bloodshot. Boom! 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 In the first attack, an early condensing reality realm warrior had his chest pierced by a wild boar beast's tusk. He vomited blood and died. Soon after, another 10 villagers were trampled to death by the beasts. The axeman was quite lucky. The beast that was fighting with him was a rank 2 demonic beast, Mist Cow. It was not very powerful, but it was extremely huge. Therefore, the axeman did not have to worry about being trampled by other demonic beasts. Shoo! Appearing in the middle of the beast wave, Yi Chen held his Star Scar sword with both of his hands, waving it in 4 different directions. Swoosh! For dozens of meters long sword chi sliced open the ground. Wherever it went, all of the beasts were cut in half, their blood spilling everywhere. Tyrant Millennium! Just as the sword chi passed through, Yi Chen threw a punch onto the ground. Rumble! The ground collapsed, and a huge pit with a radius of 10 meters appeared. The beasts in the front could not control their bodies and fell into the pit. The beasts behind them were too fast, so they could not stop their bodies in time. All of a sudden, at least dozens of beasts were buried in the pit. Not caring about killing the beasts that fell into the pit one by one, Yi-chan rushed towards the group of people. Some of the beasts were rushing towards them. "Mom, I am so scared." Seeing a huge rat beast rushing towards them, the kid curled up in the woman's arms. "Don't be scared. Mom is here." The woman's face was pale, but she tried to comfort the kid in her arms. The huge rat beast was a rank 3 beast. Before this, dozens of villagers had already had their heads bitten off by it, dying horribly. Now that it was rushing towards them, no one could stop it. Right at that moment, a fist landed on the head of the huge rat beast. The powerful fist power blew it away, its body shattering into pieces. "Tell the others to stay together." Standing in front of the two, Yi-chen's sword was dripping with blood. "Thank you so much." Many of the villagers in this area had died, and the population was sparse. The woman hurried to run towards the crowd with her kid, wiping her tears from time to time. Her man had just died right in front of her eyes. Killing without tiredness. On this day, Yi-chan had killed 2,000 to 3,000 beasts, which was more than all the times he had killed before. The killing intent on his body had made some of the low-rank beasts afraid to face him. Their movements were stiff, and even rank 3 and 4 beasts were shivering in fear. Only 15 minutes later, the battle was over. Thousands of beasts had died, and more than 200 humans had died. It was still because of Yi-chen's fast killing speed. Otherwise, no one would have been able to leave this place alive. "Let's go. Hurry up. We need to reach the Yellow Mountain town before nightfall." Among the group, Yi-chan was undoubtedly the leader. With one order, everyone left the dead bodies of their family members behind and started to run. That late condensing reality realm warrior sighed. "The beast wave is too horrifying. So many people have died in such a short time." Putting his star scar sword back into its scabbard, Yi-chan said with a heavy tone, "Let's not talk about it for now. When the real beast wave breaks out, the number of deaths would be in the tens of thousands. All we can do is try our best to protect the villagers and get into the city. Then we can rely on the city to fight against the beasts. Yeah, with the protection of the city, it will be much safer." The sun was setting, and the roars of the beasts could be heard everywhere. From afar, everyone could see the Yellow Mountain town standing on the ground. "We have arrived at the Yellow Mountain town. Let's work harder." The man stood next to Yi-chan and said with a tired voice. Yi-chan glanced at the man and the few condensing reality realm warriors who had survived. He was very impressed. Most of the passing warriors thought that the villagers were too slow, so they did not want to stay and protect them. Only these people were willing to help them. But after a few battles, half of them had been devoured by the beasts, and the rest of them were all wounded, some even disabled. Yi-chan could not help but ask, "Why did you choose to stay and protect them? If you ran by yourself, you could have made it to the town or the city first." The man asked back, "Then why did you stay? I remember that when we came here, you were the only one protecting the villagers. I am a clasping Yuan realm warrior. Why wouldn't I help if I could? Although I am not as powerful as you, I have the same idea as you. I believe they are thinking the same." The man took out a piece of cloth from his pocket and wiped his blade. Soon they arrived at the Yellow Mountain town. "Great. Another clasping Yuan realm warrior." When the gate of the town opened, a 21 or 22-year-old young man walked up to Yi-chan. Yi-chan looked at the broken tall wall and said, "This place has been attacked by the beasts as well?" The young man nodded. "From this afternoon until now, we have been attacked by 5 demon beasts in total. The largest one had 5,000 to 6,000 demon beasts, covering the entire mountain. Many people have already rushed towards the Iron City. I am staying to protect those who have not left." "I am Yi-chan and you are?" "Tian Hao. The Yellow Mountain town will not be able to hold on for long. But it is already late, we have to stay here for another night. Let's fight together." Being able to see a clasping Yuan realm warrior, Yi-chan was very happy as well. During the beast wave, only condensing reality realm warriors and above would be able to kill the beasts in a large area. One more person would mean one more layer of protection. Tian Hao laughed and said, I am not the only clasping Yuan realm warrior in the Yellow Mountain town. The other clasping Yuan realm warriors are guarding the other 3 town gates. Including you, there are 7 of them in total, and 3 of them are mid-clasping Yuan realm warriors. I think it should not be a problem to guard for one night, since it has only been half a day. The real beast wave has not started yet. Yeah, 7 people should be enough. Yichun let out a breath in relief. Having 7 clasping Yuan realm warriors in one town was definitely a blessing in disguise. The town was not that big, but because a lot of people had left before, the 3 villages did not feel crowded at all. Of course, there were also people from other villages nearby who had arrived. However, they were not as lucky as the Huayang village and the Liyang village. Because there were no clasping Yuan realm warriors to protect them, they had lost a lot of people. Less than 100 people had made it to the Yellow Mountain town. Inside all the restaurants. Everyone eat as much as you can. The owner of the restaurant has already escaped to the Iron City. All the food is free. In all the weapon shops. Everyone has a weapon. Don't take more but don't take less. Tonight, we will be relying on them to kill the beasts. Facing the beast wave, everyone had to work together. This was something that would never happen in a peaceful time. On the street, looking at the crowd and warriors coming and going, Tianhao said, I will take you to meet the other clasping Yuan realm warriors. Tonight we will be partners. Yichun nodded. It was a pleasant meeting. Everyone was very confident about the addition of a clasping Yuan realm warrior. They knew very well that a clasping Yuan realm warrior could fight against dozens of condensing reality realm warriors. No matter in terms of attacking power or attacking range, it would not be on the same level. The night had shrouded the land. The atmosphere in the Yellow Mountain town had become very serious, including that of Yichun and the others. Roar! 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 A beast roar was heard. It was not far from the Yellow Mountain town. No one knew how long it had been, but the rumbling sound could be heard everywhere. With the help of the moonlight, people with weapons could see a huge group of beasts in the distance. The ones running at the front were rank 1 and 2 beasts, followed by rank 3 and rank 4 beasts, and at the back were rank 5 and a few rank 6 beasts. These beasts were not rushing to attack the Yellow Mountain town. Instead, they were moving forward step by step. In front of the crowd, Tianhao said with relief, there is only one rank 6 beast here. Judging from the beast chi vibration, it should be equivalent to a peak-level mid-clasping Yuan realm warrior. You and I will work together and kill it first. Yichun said, no need to be so troublesome. You help the others. I will handle the rank 5 beasts and rank 6 beasts. You alone? Tianhao looked confused. Yichun did not answer with words. He waved his hand and the star scar sword appeared in his hand. He took it out of the scabbard and threw a sword attack in front of him. Swoosh! The flat ground cracked open. The beasts at the front all fell down. The sword chi wave exploded in the group of beasts, killing another 7 rank 3 and 4 beasts. Such a powerful sword chi. Tianhao was shocked. Just like Yichun, he was also a peak-level early clasping Yuan realm warrior. Although he did not make it into the top 72 in the last Hidden Dragon rank competitions, he thought that he would definitely be able to make it this time. He thought that Yichun would not be as powerful as him, but he did not expect that Yichun would be even more powerful than him. Roar! Seeing Yichun's arrogance, the rank 6 demonic beast roared in anger. As its demonic chi swept out, it quickly appeared in front of the group of demonic beasts. It opened its mouth and breathed out a huge fire wave, which rushed towards Yichun. Cut! From hundreds of meters away, Yichun threw out a sword attack. The blue sword chi sliced through the air like a shooting star. It not only cut open the flame wave, but also landed on the rank 6 beast's body. Soon this rank 6 beast's body was cut in half before it could even show its power. A huge amount of blood splashed onto the ground. Impressive. I thought it would be a tough fight, but it seems like I don't have to. Tianhao was shocked at first, then he was overjoyed. With Yichun's help, rank 6 beasts were no longer a threat to him. He only needed to kill beasts that were below rank 5. Before the beast group even got close, all the clasping Yuan realm warriors had already started their attacks. The rest of the warriors were ready to fight against the beasts at any second. Swirling winds and clouds, overlapping mountain ridges. Yichun had performed all of his wide-range sword attacks. Sword chi shot out in all directions, and huge groups of beasts fell onto the ground. Night battle. Tianhao's power was not to be underestimated either. A pitch-black long blade appeared in his hand. As he waved the long blade, dozens of blade chi spread out with him as the center. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. With only the power of the two of them, most of the beasts could not even get close. Once they got within 300 meters, they would be killed by countless sword chi and blade chi. Even the rank 3 and 4 beasts could not survive. Only the rank 5 beasts could break through the sword chi and blade chi and escape. What welcomed them was a fist. The powerful fist had attracted hundreds of meters of yuan chi, and then it was thrown out. Boom! 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 3 to 4 rank 5 beasts exploded in the air. So powerful. We could not do anything. At least hundreds of beasts had died in their hands. The beasts behind them had just arrived, but they were all killed immediately. Even the rank 5 beasts were no exception. It is dangerous over there. Why don't we go and help them? All of the warriors in the back started to discuss. Yichun heard everyone's discussion and said loudly, "You guys send half of your people to other places. We will be enough here." Tianhao said, "Brother Yi is right." Hearing him, half of the 100 people left, and only about 50 people were left. There were not many beasts in the first wave. There were only 2,000 to 3,000 beasts on Yichun and Tianhao's side. After such a short while, half of them had already been killed by the two of them. Another rank 6 beast is coming. Is it an eagle-tiger beast? Tianhao was shocked. Pap! Just as Tianhao finished talking, that eagle-tiger beast had been cut into pieces by an extremely fast sword chi. It was as horrifying as thunder. Tianhao was speechless. This was way too horrifying. A rank 6 beast could not even take one sword chi attack from him. This eagle-tiger beast was equivalent to a normal late-clasping Yuan realm warrior. Putting a pellet into his mouth, Yichun looked very calm. This eagle-tiger beast was different from normal rank 6 beasts. If he wanted to kill it with one sword attack, he would have to use his ultimate move, the last movement of the Sky Cloud sword art. Supreme Sky Cloud. As for the one sword attack, he would try not to use it unless necessary, as it would consume a lot of his energy. As the battle went on, Tianhao's Zhanqi was being consumed very quickly. However, he had quite a lot of pellets with him, some of which could instantly replenish 20 to 30% of his Zhanqi. He said, "Brother Yi, if you don't have enough pellets, I have some here. I am from the alchemist martial school, and I have a lot of them." Yichun said, "No need, I have a lot of pellets as well." Besides the calabash of Zhanqi replenishing pellets, he also had hundreds of normal Zhanqi replenishing pellets, which he had spent hundreds of thousands of gold to buy. After all, normal Zhanqi replenishing pellets were more than enough for normal use. There was no need to waste Zhanqi replenishing pellets. When all the beasts in this direction had been killed, the battles in the other directions had not finished yet. Yichun said, "I will go help the others first. Are you okay by yourself?" "Sure, you go ahead. I don't think it's safe over there. Rank 6 beasts are still quite powerful for us." Tianhao sat on the ground with his legs crossed and started meditating. Hearing Yichun, he nodded. Swoosh! Extending his body, Yichun soon arrived at the south gate of the Yellow Mountain town. Without saying anything, Yichun threw out a sword attack and hit the rank 6 beast that was fighting with the clasping Yuan realm warrior. This rank 6 beast let out a cry and fell on the ground. Chapter 200. The one guarding the south gate was a mid-clasping Yuan realm warrior. Before Yichun arrived, he was the most powerful warrior in the Yellow Mountain town. However, his opponent was a rank 6 beast, the four-legged flamingo, which was as powerful as a late-clasping Yuan realm warrior. Even after using all of his ace attacks, he still could not do anything to it. Instead, his arm had been scratched. Seeing Yichun kill the four-legged flamingo with only one sword attack, he opened his eyes wide in shock. "I will leave the rest of the beasts to you. I will go check out the other two sides." Flashing his body, Yichun flew across the sky of the Yellow Mountain town and arrived at the east gate. The situation here was not good. There were 2 rank 6 beasts, and there were only 2 clasping Yuan realm warriors. One was a mid-clasping Yuan realm warrior, and the other was an early clasping Yuan realm warrior. The early clasping Yuan realm warrior was about to be killed by the claw of the rank 6 beast. Performing his separating shadow flying art, Yi Chen's body became blurry. When he reappeared, he was already in between the beast and the human, throwing out a thunderous sword attack. Pap! The lightning-like blue sword light broke through the beast's protective beast chi and landed heavily on its chest. Then the sword light shone brightly, exploding violently. Blood splashed everywhere. This aggressive rank 6 beast had been blown away by the sword light. There was a huge sword hole in its chest which was quite chilling. "You go and heal yourself first," Yi Chan said to the middle-aged man, who was quite badly wounded. "All right, thank you." The middle-aged man was just as shocked as the first one. However, it was obviously not the time for him to be shocked. He obediently stepped back, swallowed a pellet, and sat on the ground with his legs crossed to heal himself. He was trying to recover most of his fighting power before the next wave of beasts appeared. "Oh, little bro, you are quite powerful." The one who was fighting with the rank 6 beast was a beautiful lady in her 30s. She was holding a crescent blade in her hand, and seemed to be on par with the beast. From time to time, she would use her ace attacks to leave bloody marks on the beast's body. Yi Chan said, "The next wave of beasts could come at any time. You don't mind if I help you, right?" Clasping Yuan realm warriors were very confident in their own power. If they went up there recklessly, they might annoy the lady, since she had already suppressed the rank 6 beast. "Sure. I couldn't ask for more." The beautiful woman smiled sweetly and didn't mind. Bang! The ground exploded as Yi Chan violently dashed towards the beautiful woman's opponent, the level 6 two-headed wolf king. Howl! One of the two-headed wolf king's heads spat out a ring of light at Yi Chan. The power of the light wave was unparalleled. Wherever it went, the ground would explode layer by layer, and the sky would be filled with rubble. Break! On the way, Yi Chan slashed horizontally with his sword. The light wave split in the middle, and the thick blue sword chi instantly hit the double-headed wolf king's body, protecting demonic chi. This two-headed wolf king is not simple. The blue sword chi had been blocked by the protective beast chi, and could not break through. At this moment, Yi Chan finally realized how powerful that beautiful lady was. She seemed to be even more powerful than those mid-clasping Yuan realm warriors outside the south gate. Before, she had suppressed the double-headed wolf king all by herself. The beautiful lady reminded Yi Chan, "This is not a normal double-headed wolf king. It is a mutated one. Its beast chi is very dense, and even my arc light blade could not break through its protective beast chi. You will have to use your ace attack." It's broken." In the beautiful lady's eyes, the blue sword chi did not disappear just like that. Instead, it turned into layers of sword chi that continuously landed on the double-headed wolf king's protective zhan chi. Within 2 blinks of an eye, one of the double-headed wolf king's heads had been cut off by the sword chi. Blood spurted out for dozens of meters. Arc light cut. As soon as the double-headed wolf king's protective zhan chi was broken, the beautiful lady reacted quickly and threw out 3 blade attacks in a row, killing the double-headed wolf king for good. Interesting. Are you interested in joining our moon pavilion? Don't worry, we are not a martial institution, we are just an organization. You don't have to leave your martial institution if you join us. The beautiful lady would not be stupid enough to ask Yi Chan to leave his martial institution. With his age, Yi Chan must be the most talented one in the martial institution. Yi Chan said, "Not yet. You will be interested in it in the future." The beautiful lady laughed. The expression on her face was obviously one of excitement. After that, Yi Chan went to the north gate of the Yellow Mountain town to help. In fact, he did not need to go there, since there was not even a single rank 6 beast there. After the first wave of beasts had been killed, no one dared to sleep. They sat outside the town to rest and chat, drinking wine. As for cleaning up the dead bodies, they could not do it even if they wanted to. Under the beast wave, there would be no whole bodies left. All they could see was the ground covered with minced meat and blood. In the middle of the night, the second wave of beasts had arrived. The attack this time was even more intense than the previous wave. There were dozens of rank 6 beasts, and there were 3 to 4 of them in almost every direction. There were hundreds of rank 5 beasts, and the number of low-ranked beasts was even more horrifying. There were tens of thousands of them and they were everywhere. After 2 hours, the second wave of beasts had finally been killed. The number of warriors in the Yellow Mountain town had been reduced from the original 700 to 300. More than half of them had died under the claws of the beasts. The normal people in the town were not spared either. Half of the thousands of people had died, and the survivors were either hiding in the cellars or being saved by Yi Qian and the others. Besides that, there were finally some clasping Yuan realm warriors who had been killed. An early clasping Yuan realm warrior had been killed, and 3 others had been wounded. One of them had lost an arm. One more wave, and we will not be able to hold on anymore. Tianhao was covered in blood as he said sadly. Yi Qian's clothes were torn, but he was not wounded. He said, "The sun is coming out soon. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get everyone to the Iron City. That's the only way." After a quarter of an hour, more than 1,000 people left the broken Yellow Mountain town, walking towards the sun in the east. All of their faces were pale. Obviously, the beast attack last night had made them very tired and desperate. The good thing was that there was still hope in their eyes. Behind the crowd, Tianhao had changed into a clean set of clothes, and said with a bitter smile, "I have killed more beasts tonight than I have in the past few years. How could there be so many beasts?" The beautiful lady said, "The beasts are very territorial, but there are at least hundreds of thousands of beasts in a 1,000 miles radius mountain range. We had only been attacked in a small area." "You are right. We can only hope that there will not be any rank 7 beasts in the beast wave." Yi Qian looked very serious. If it were top rank 6 beasts like the Wind Wolf, they would still be able to fight them with the number of people. But once there were rank 7 beasts, the human wave attack would basically be useless. Relying on the city would be useless as well. Only astral-reaching realm warriors of the same level would be able to make it. Tianhao looked into the distance. There are still 200 miles to the Iron City. We have to speed up. At the same time, in different directions, countless people were gathering towards the area where the Iron City was located. Iron City. Inside the mayor's mansion, "Mayor, right now the Iron City is already overcrowded. In the next few days there will be even more people gathering here. This will be a huge burden." An elder in luxurious clothes reported to the middle-aged man on the main seat. The middle-aged mayor said, "Normal people stay on the ground, and let all the warriors go up to the roof. That way there will be more space. Right now, it is not about the number of people, but what if there are not enough people? We should all gather in the Iron City." The elder said with admiration, "Mayor, you are so wise. I asked you to find out how many clasping Yuan realm warriors there are in the Iron City. Have you found anything yet?" The mayor asked. "I have. Although the Iron City is a small city, there are more than 240 clasping Yuan realm warriors, and it is still increasing. Among them, there are many clasping Yuan realm warriors from the big martial institutions. Yeah, the beast wave is indeed dangerous, but it can train the warriors' battling experience. The leaders of the big martial institutions should have plans for this." "Oh right, are there any astral-reaching realm warriors coming?" "Not yet." The mayor frowned and mumbled to himself, "This is not easy. Right now we are not sure if it will be a small beast wave or a mid-sized one. If there are rank 7 beasts, the Iron City would not be able to hold on. I hope it will not happen. I don't think it will be possible. Normally, rank 7 beasts would only be found in mid-sized mountains or forests. Within 10,000 miles of our Iron City, there are no mid-sized mountains or forests. The biggest mountain in the wasteland is only a small one, only a few thousand miles in radius." "I hope so." After 1 day and 1 night of traveling, everyone was exhausted. A lot of normal people who were already injured had died on the way, and even more had died under the attacks of the beasts. The number of people has decreased again. I wonder how many will make it to the Iron City. Looking at the crowd, Yi Qian sighed. Right now, there were less than 1,000 people left, which was almost the same as the population of 3 villages. He then looked at the axeman who was not far away and smiled. He thought that he was quite lucky. He did not die in such a harsh battle, and even managed to break through from the peak of Mortal Realm Stage 8 to Stage 9. After this beast wave, there was hope for him to reach the condensing reality realm. Tianhao looked at Yi Qian with admiration. You have killed 5 to 6,000 beasts by yourself, and I have only killed less than 1/3 of you. Every time the beasts attacked, Yichun would fight his way into the group of beasts by himself and kill the rank 6 beasts that were threatening. And every time, he would be able to escape unscathed, which made Tian Hao and the rest admire him. In their minds there were people who were as powerful as Yichun, or even more powerful than him, but none of them could do it as easily as he did. Young man, if you join our moon pavilion, we will guarantee you more resources to increase your cultivation. The beautiful lady did not forget to recruit Yichun at all. Yichun smiled bitterly. I'm not interested for now. Then think about it. You won't lose anything anyway. If you think the moon pavilion is not good, you can leave any time. The beautiful lady was very confident in the moon pavilion. She believed that after Yichun joined, he would not want to leave. The problem was that he had not joined yet. Another half a day passed. A city with a circumference of 10 miles appeared in their sight. We've arrived at the Iron City. We've finally arrived. Let's go in quickly. We'll be safe inside. The people who survived cherished their lives very much. All of them ran as if they had been injected with chicken blood. Unlike before when they were on the verge of death. The beautiful lady flew into the air and shouted, "Open the city gate." Before the beautiful lady shouted a second time, the huge city gate opened. Groups of soldiers lined up on both sides. The leader said, "Everyone come in. Don't waste any time." After entering the Iron City, everyone let out a sigh of relief. Some of them had reached their limit and fainted. So many people. Looking at the overcrowded Iron City, Yichun was shocked. Tianhao said, "It seems like everyone has gathered here. Next we will have to fight against the beasts. I hope we can hold on. If there are no rank 7 beasts, it should not be a problem." An unknown clasping Yuan realm warrior nearby said. Roar! The second Yichun and the group entered the city. Countless beasts were running in the direction of the Yellow Mountain town. It was dark and horrifying. Within the beast wave, there were countless rank 5 beasts and hundreds of rank 6 beasts. What was even more horrifying was that behind the beasts, there was a huge shadow moving towards them. Wherever it went, the hills would collapse and the ground would start to rumble, as if there was a small earthquake. It was a 1,000 meters long python with 2 long horns on its head. Its whole body was covered in greenish-yellow scales that were the size of basins. With a casual sweep of its tail, the ground would crack open, and rocks would fly everywhere. From its mouth, a stinky smell would come out, forming countless dark cloud-like air currents that covered its entire body. Boom! The 2-horned python flew past the Yellow Mountain town. The whole town had been completely destroyed and turned into a flat ground within a second. It was impossible to tell that this town used to exist. Roar! 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 The beast's roar was earth-shattering as it jumped towards the Iron City. What? There are rank 7 beasts here? A late-clasping Yuan realm warrior saw the 2-horned python from afar and was shocked. He hurried to perform his flying art and fly towards the Iron City. Swoosh! The 2-horned python stared at him without blinking. It opened its mouth and an endless amount of beast chi gathered at its throat. Then a pitch-black light column shot out. 10 miles of distance was covered within a blink of an eye. This late-clasping Yuan realm warrior did not even make a sound before his body was burned into ashes. As if it was not satisfied yet, this 2-horned python shot out a few more pitch-black light columns, which pierced through the mountains nearby. Rocks started to fall from the top, and a loud rumbling sound was heard. The beast's speed was extremely fast, even faster than the crowd's traveling speed. Within half a day, they had already reached 10 miles away from the Iron City. The 2-horned python straightened its upper body, which was almost as tall as a mountain. It opened its mouth again and shot out another pitch-black light column, shooting towards the Iron City's city wall that was 10 miles away. The city wall was shattered like tofu. Countless people had died under this black light column, including 3 clasping Yuan realm warriors. Some of the warriors recognized the 2-horned python and said in shock, "It is a rank 7 beast. Rank 7 beast, horned dragon python. How is this possible? How could there be a horned dragon python within 10,000 miles? How could we block the attack of a rank 7 beast? Let's just run." A lot of clasping Yuan realm warriors had pale faces as they started to think about running away. On the other side of the city wall, Yi Qin's heart sank. He had never thought that a rank 7 beast would appear out of nowhere, and this early. Even all of the clasping Yuan realm warriors in the city combined might not be able to kill a rank 7 beast. After all, martial geniuses like Xianhou were not easy to find. Plus, this rank 7 beast's power was still unknown. It might be as powerful as a mid-astral reaching realm warrior. Even a martial genius like Xianhou would not be able to fight against it. I wonder if I can beat a rank 7 beast after I reach the late clasping Yuan realm. According to Thunder Freer, it seems to be very hard. Even with the completed sword intent, I would only be able to run away, and would not be able to fight against it. Yi Qin had never seen a rank 7 beast before, nor had he seen an astral-reaching realm warrior fight against one another. So, he could not tell how powerful a rank 7 beast or an astral-reaching realm warrior would be. Chapter 201. Obviously, the Iron City did not have a horrifying martial genius like Xianhou, and could not fight against the rank 7 horned dragon snake with her late clasping Yuan realm power. When the horned dragon snake shot out the second pitch-black light column, some clasping Yuan realm warriors had finally escaped. For them, it was only a matter of time before the Iron City was destroyed. If they did not leave now, it would be hard for them to leave later, since they only had one life. Boom! Another pitch-black beam of light pierced through the void and landed on the huge city gate of Iron City. In the next moment, the 1-meter-thick city gate made of steel melted into ashes. The pitch-black beam of light didn't stop there. It went straight through the ground, all the way to the city lord's mansion in the center. The mansion was split in half, and everything within 10 meters of that line disappeared instantly. Not a single thing was left. The mayor is dead. Everyone run. What? The mayor is dead? What is the point of defending? Wait a bit longer. Maybe some astral-reaching realm warriors will come. The beast wave is not only around the Iron City. Other cities are also facing beast waves, and I am afraid there will not be any astral-reaching realm warriors to help. The beast wave had not even reached the city yet, but the people in the Iron City had already lost hope. We can't defend anymore. Let's run. Right next to Yi Qin, Tianhao and the rest forced a smile. Yi Qin nodded. Since it has already happened, staying would be suicide. In the Yellow Mountain town, because there were no rank 7 beasts, they could still try their best to protect more people. But right now, who could they protect if they stayed? In front of rank 7 beasts, clasping Yuan realm warriors would only be ants, unless there were enough of them to kill an elephant. The sky darkened, and a pitch-black light column suddenly shot out towards Yi Qin's direction. Watch out! Yi Qin's body flashed, leaving a Zhenqi shadow where he was standing. Tianhao and the ladies' reactions were just below Yi Qin's. They pushed their flying art to its limit, moving towards the right side at a high speed. Swoosh! The other clasping Yuan realm warriors did not manage to react in time before they were devoured by the black light column, along with the city wall. Tianhao's face was pale. He had reacted fast enough, but it was not fast enough. At that critical moment, Yi Qin had pushed him, allowing him to avoid the attack range of the black light column. Looking at the edge of the city wall that had been melted, Tianhao was still scared. He turned his head and said to Yi Qin with gratitude, "I owe you a life. I will pay you back someday." Yi Qin did not say anything. He seemed to have sensed something, so he turned his head and looked towards the sky. Yi Qin said nothing. Astral-reaching realm warriors are coming. Yi Qin let out a breath. In the sky realm Cheng clan king, and the black clan Yi have city emperor, and Yi clan have realm warriors. King Dragon King with clan Chun realm dragon. The speed of the flame was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it was still thousands of meters away. In the blink of an eye, the figure in the flame was already clearly visible. It was like a huge fireball shooting over. Seeing that, Tianhao activated his Zhenqi and said with a loud voice, "Don't despair. The astral-reaching realm warriors from the Alchemist's Martial School are here to help." It is true. There really are astral-reaching realm warriors in the Iron City. The firelight's momentum was so great that not long after, everyone could feel its astonishing aura and scorching temperature. The horned dragon python in the herd also noticed the firelight. Its eyes were cold as it locked onto the location of the firelight. Then it opened its mouth and spat out a pitch-black pillar of light. Break! A voice was heard from within the fire. Right after that, a huge flame-like blade chi sliced through the air, clashing with the black light column. Boom! That horrifying blast wave brought up layers of dirt. A huge pit with a radius of hundreds of meters and a depth of dozens of meters had appeared on the ground. Shoo! The fire disappeared, and a human figure appeared right next to Tian Hao. It was an elder in his 60s, wearing a long robe with fire patterns on his sleeves. Tian Hao said with respect, "Great master." The elder nodded and said with a serious tone, "Tell everyone to leave the Iron City and head to the Gold Tripod City. That is the only place we can defend." What? With the Great Master here, we will definitely be able to defend the Iron City. Tian Hao was a bit shocked. He did not expect the elder to say that. The elder sighed, "If it were other rank 7 beasts, I would have the confidence to fight with or even beat them. But this horned dragon snake is extremely powerful, almost equivalent to a mid-astral reaching realm warrior. I can only stall it for a while. Once it drags on, even I will have to run away." Even Grand Elder couldn't defeat it? Tian Hao gasped. Yichun was speechless. Running away to the Gold Tripod City with 1,000,000 people was definitely not a good idea. During the beast wave, there would be beasts everywhere outside the city. Not to mention 1,000,000 people, even if there were 10 million people, they would still be slaughtered. But the opponent had made it clear that he could only stall the horned dragon snake for a while, and would not be able to beat it. In other words, they would die either way. The fate of the Iron City's population had already been decided. As the two were talking, the horned dragon snake's second attack had arrived. Shoo! The black light column flashed once before disappearing, and the sky started to darken. Hurry up and get out of here. I can only hold it for 15 minutes. The old man rose from the ground, and a flaming machete appeared in his hand. The machete drew a stunning arc in the void and slashed at the pitch-black pillar of light. The black light column had been shattered once again, and the elder flew towards the beast with the blade in his hand. With Tian Hao's warning, everyone knew about this fact. They had to open the other 3 city gates and get ready to run towards the Gold Tripod City. Soon, everyone had returned to the Iron City. It turned out that there were beast waves coming from the other 3 directions as well. There were millions of them, and they had completely surrounded the Iron City. Not to mention normal people, even late clasping Yuan realm warriors might not be able to get out. This is bad. On the city wall, all of the clasping Yuan realm warriors looked pale. Before, they were still able to escape with their own power. But now there were so many beasts everywhere, and some of them were even top rank 6 beasts. There was no way they could escape. If they had known this earlier, they would have escaped earlier. Rumble! The beasts were running extremely fast. Within the time it took to drink half a pot of tea, the Iron City had been completely surrounded. In the sky under the city wall, every inch of space was filled with all kinds of beasts. The first ones to suffer were the warriors on the city wall. Almost within a second, hundreds of them had been torn into pieces by the flying beasts, including an early clasping Yuan realm warrior. It was a rank 6 beast, the 4-legged flamingo, that had killed him. Tornado broke in clouds. Facing all of those flying beasts, Yichun chose to attack with a large area of effect. He threw out a sword attack, and the sword chi twisted the air, forming a huge tornado. Shoo! 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 All the beasts below rank 5 would be sucked in once they got close to the tornado. They would be sliced into pieces. Although the rank 5 beasts had a high defense, they still could not keep their bodies steady. They were shakily spinning around the tornado, and were eventually killed by the sword chi. Ower! An earth-shattering wolf howl was heard, which shocked Yichun and the rest of them. They could not help but look into the distance. Above the crowd of beasts, a gigantic demonic wolf was flying towards the Iron City. It was indeed one of the tyrants of the rank 6 beasts, the Wind Wolf. Before the rest of them could react, another roar was heard. The ground started to shake violently, and a demonic bear that was even bigger than the Wind Wolf jumped into the air. It was like a dark cloud pressing down on the Iron City. The aggressive chi made all of the flying beasts in the sky scatter, not daring to come closer. Top rank 6 beast Wind Wolf. Top rank 6 beast Black Bear. The lady mumbled. Tianhao took a deep breath and said, "Guys, if we don't run now, we will not have another chance." The Wind Wolf and the Black Bear were both tyrants of the rank 6 beasts. With their power, they would not be able to fight against them at all. Plus, as more and more beasts appeared, no one could tell if there would be more top rank 6 beasts. Yichun glanced at the Iron City behind him and said helplessly, "Let's run." Shoo! 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 While they were talking, most of the clasping Yuan realm warriors in the Iron City had performed their flying arts, running towards the place where there were fewer beasts. Yichun and the other two followed closely behind the rest of them. The few clasping Yuan realm warriors in the front were suddenly entangled by a long and thin tongue. The tongue was covered with thorns, and with a slight pull, their bodies were torn apart. "It is a top rank 6 beast, the three-eyed toad. Run!" Hearing him, everyone, including Yichun, increased their speed to their limit. They did not dare to stay for even a second longer. This place was no longer a place where clasping Yuan realm warriors could run freely. Only astral-reaching realm warriors could come and go as they pleased. In the next 10 minutes, 200 clasping Yuan realm warriors were either injured or killed. There were less than 100 left, and most of them had died under the claws of the rank 6 beasts. Some of them had been badly wounded and had fallen into the beast groups, killed by countless low-rank beasts. Supreme Shocking Cloud. Burning Field Cut. Arc Cut. Yichun and the other two were not having a good time either. Although they had carefully avoided the top rank 6 beasts, they were soon surrounded by a group of rank 6 beasts, falling into a crisis. On the other side, the battle between the great master of the alchemist martial school and the horned dragon snake had reached its climax. The horned dragon snake was not only extremely powerful in long-range attacks, but also in close combat. Its 100-meter-long tail swept across the air, blowing away all the air within 1,000 meters radius, turning it into a vacuum world. In this vacuum world, everything seemed to be weightless. The elder yelled, the flame on his body burning fiercely. It was more than 50% stronger than before, and his whole body looked like a human-shaped fire pillar. Boom! A blade attack landed on the horned dragon snake's tail, and the elder was blown away. With that momentum, his body flashed, jumping towards Yichun and the other two. Go! He waved his hand to kill all the rank 6 beasts surrounding them, then grabbed Tianhao and rushed out of the encirclement with a speed that was a couple of times faster than the speed of sound. Yichun and the lady looked at each other and forced a smile. They did not have that kind of insane speed, and they did not dare to follow behind the elder. Who knew if the horned dragon snake would launch a long-range attack after them? Just as they had expected, a pitch-black light column shot over, shooting towards the elder. Along with a loud boom, the elder and Tianhao's bodies disappeared. Let's leave as well. If the horned dragon snake catches up with us, we will definitely die. Yichun and the lady flew side by side, trying their best to avoid the top rank 6 beasts. They did not dare to kill too many of them, as they were afraid that the horned dragon snake would notice them. Chapter 202. There are too many beasts and we can't make too much noise. Looking at the horde of demonic beasts and the demonic energy that blotted out the sky, the beautiful woman could not help but frown. Yichun also felt troubled. The horned dragon snake was not far behind them. Once they made too much noise, it would definitely notice them. By then, no matter how powerful they were, they would not be able to escape death. Then they could only use their separating shadow flying art. Without much hesitation, Yichun reached out his hand and grabbed the lady's slim hand. His body shook a little, and a series of Zhanqi shadows appeared in the air. His real body had already carried the lady and rushed out. His speed was not that fast, but he was like a fish swimming in the water, avoiding the beast's encirclement. The lady subconsciously wanted to take back her hand, but she realized that Yichun was performing a special flying art, so she gave up. She used her Zhanqi to talk to Yichun. Although this flying art is special and can create Zhanqi shadows, it can also attract the attention of the surrounding beasts. You should know that some of the beasts can see through you. Yichun said, how would you know if you don't try? Shoo! 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 The two silhouettes flickered in and out of existence. A lot of low-ranked beasts were dazzled and bumped into each other. Shoo! Right at this moment, a slender object swept over with a speed as fast as a spark. Watch out! The lady held her breath. She was not unfamiliar with that long and thin object. It was the tongue of the top-rank 6 beast, the three-eyed toad. The three-eyed toad's third eye could see through reality. As long as one's cultivation level was not too much higher than its own, no matter how many tricks one used, one would not be able to fool it. The tongue that was covered in barbs was too fast. The moment the lady's voice was heard, the tongue had already wrapped around the two's bodies and slightly tightened. Swoosh! The two's bodies were torn apart, but they were Zhanqi shadows. The lady was surprised. How did you avoid it? Yichun said, as long as the speed of the tongue is not faster than my reaction speed, I have a way to avoid it. You do not have to worry about that. You really don't want to consider joining our moon pavilion? The lady tried to persuade Yichun to join their organization. Let's get out of here first. Yichun had consumed a lot of his true chi shadows. After all, these shadows needed true chi to maintain, and in a short period of time he had already lost dozens of true chi shadows. Shoving a pill into his mouth that could instantly replenish his Zhanqi, Yichun increased the output of his Zhanqi, pushing his speed to the limit that he could reach. Xiao! With the help of the Zhanqi shadows, the two of them passed through the dense demonic chi and arrived at the edge of the beast tide. We finally escaped. The beautiful woman took a deep breath. Yichun had no intention of letting go of her hand. He took her and flew towards the nearby mountains. The beautiful woman said with a smile that was not a smile, "Little brat, we have already escaped from the encirclement. How long are you going to hold my hand? Although I don't mind." Yichun said calmly, "If you want to die, you can let go." What do you mean? The beautiful woman knew that Yichun would not speak without thinking. It's simple. We have been targeted by the horned dragon snake. Luckily it did not catch up. The horned dragon snake was a rank 7 beast. Speed was not its specialty, but for it to chase after 2 clasping Yuan realm warriors, it was as easy as drinking water. I guess it did not want to chase after 2 small fries like us. The beautiful woman indeed did not dare to let go of her hand. Without Yichun's separating shadow flying art, it was very likely that she would die. After all, she had seen how Yichun had brought her out of the encirclement with her own eyes. Among the beasts, the horned dragon snake's upper body stood straight up like a sky pillar. A pair of cold eyes pierced through the demonic chi, locking onto Yichun and the beautiful woman who were in the distance. Just like the beautiful woman had said, as a rank 7 beast, it did not want to chase after the two personally. All it needed to do was let out a beam of demonic chi. It opened its huge mouth, and an endless amount of demonic chi gathered. The horned dragon snake shot out a pitch-black light column, which broke through the demonic chi blockade within a second and appeared miles away. Yichun was as calm as still water as he yelled with a low voice. Explode! The two's bodies suddenly exploded, and a huge amount of afterimages shot out in all directions. Pooh! More than 80% of the afterimages did not manage to escape the attack range of the pitch-black light column, and they all disappeared within a second. The power of the pitch-black light column did not decrease at all, and it even pierced through a steep mountain that was even further away. Amidst the layers of mountains, because of the beast wave, there were no more beasts in the places where the beasts used to gather. Wah! Yichun could not help but puke out a mouthful of blood anymore. His body started to wobble. Grabbing Yichun's arm, the beautiful woman brought him down onto the rugged mountain road. You are wounded. The beautiful woman was still shocked before, but now she knew what kind of price she had to pay to perform that attack. Shoving an expensive healing pellet that was worth tens of thousands of gold into his mouth, Yichun sat on the ground with his legs crossed, and said with a pale face, 3 Zhanqi afterimages is my normal limit. 5 Zhanqi afterimages will make my Zhanqi chaotic. Just now, I had used so many Zhanqi afterimages at once, and my meridians and internal organs were injured quite badly. Help me, protect me, I need to adjust my condition first. Alright, aren't you afraid that I will hurt you? Yichun said, you can try. Never mind, you are so calm. You must have a backup plan. The beautiful woman shook her head. She had not known Yi-chan for long, and no matter what kind of danger he had encountered, she had never seen him panic. With her experience, she naturally knew that Yi-chan was not someone to be messed with. Plotting against him would be extremely difficult, not to mention that she had never really thought about killing him for money. Closing his eyes, Yi-chan quickly entered the healing state. 2 hours later, Yi-chan let out a breath that had a slight smell of blood, and slowly stood up. This is not a good place to stay. Let's go to the big city. The beautiful woman nodded during the beast wave. There will be endless amounts of beasts coming. This time, it will not be a simple small beast wave. Shoo! Shoo! The two of them used their qinggong and flew far away. Not long after the two of them left, 2 human figures appeared in the Iron City that had been razed to the ground. Sigh, we are late. Including the Iron City, there are already 20 cities that have been destroyed. The death toll is over 30 million. Judging from the degree of destruction in the cities, there should be a rank 7 beast that passed by. Luckily, there were no rank 8 beasts. Otherwise, even some medium-sized cities would not be able to hold on. A small beast wave will not have many rank 7 beasts. This time it is a special case. There were more than 10 rank 7 beasts. There is no sign of a beast wave, and those martial institutions that are too far away have not received the news yet. We will have to be busy and kill this rank 7 beast first. Yeah, it doesn't matter if we are busy. The two of them flashed and disappeared. Their speed was much faster than the great master of the alchemist's martial school. During the beast wave, there would be no safe zone within 10,000 miles. Usually, the moment one got out of danger, another group of beasts would arrive. Arc cut. After killing a rank 6 beast, the beautiful woman forced a smile, going through dozens of battles in one day. I am afraid we will be exhausted to death before we even reach the big cities. Yi-chan did not say anything. In the past couple of days they did not dare to fly in the sky, since it would be too obvious. It might even attract the top rank 6 beasts and rank 7 beasts. However, their traveling speed was extremely slow. On average, they could only travel 1 to 2,000 miles a day, and it was still not completely safe. They would be discovered by small groups of beasts from time to time. In a couple of days, when the astral-reaching realm warriors from other areas arrive, the situation should be much better. The beautiful woman said, indeed, the beast wave had happened too suddenly. If there had been a sign, then there would not have been so many deaths. On their way, countless villages and towns had been ravaged by the beasts. The smell of blood was everywhere, making it look like hell on earth. Yi-chan sighed slightly. Before, he had tried so hard to bring people from 3 villages to the Iron City, but they still could not escape death. In front of the beast wave, warriors below the clasping Yuan realm would not be able to protect themselves at all. Once they were surrounded by a huge amount of beasts, even clasping Yuan realm warriors would not be able to escape. According to the beautiful woman's analysis, this was only a small beast wave with a lot of rank 7 beasts. A medium beast wave would be 10 times bigger than a small one with a lot of rank 8 beasts and even rank 9 beasts. Moo! A demonic cow with wings on its back dove towards Yi-chan. That powerful beast chi had shaken up the air, bringing up patterns everywhere. Lone peak kill. Facing the beast's attack, Yi-chan looked normal as he stabbed out a sword attack. The beast could feel the power of that sword attack, and was about to dodge it. But then it realized that no matter how hard it tried, it would not be able to get out of the attacking range of that sword attack. It was like Yi-chan was standing on top of a tall mountain. With the height of the mountain, that sword attack was filled with killing intent. Swoosh! A sword hole appeared on its forehead. The beast's body shook a little before it fell down. The beautiful woman's eyes lit up. I don't remember you performing this attack before. It is not that powerful, but it would still be hard for me to dodge it. I just learned it. Yi-chan said vaguely. The Lone Peak kill was actually a combination of the 7 movements of the Lone Peak 13 swords. It was a combined sword movement. A long time ago he had tried to combine sword movements, but he realized that the rank of the Sky Cloud sword art was too high. With his current cultivation and knowledge, he would not be able to combine it. Therefore he had to start with the top-rank Mortal Realm sword art, the Lone Peak 13 swords. Before the beast wave, he had only combined 4 movements of the Lone Peak kill. Its power was only about the same as the last third movement of the Sky Cloud sword art, which was not that powerful. In the past couple of days of killing, he had killed thousands of beasts. Finally, he had combined 3 sword movements again. His power had instantly surpassed the Sky Cloud sword art, and was only weaker than the one sword attack, which consumed his mind power. Compared to the one sword attack's extreme speed and high attacking power, the Lone Peak Kill's poetic perspective was even higher, and it complemented his entry-level sword intent. As for why, Yi-chan knew it very well. When he first learned the sword intent, it was actually because of the poetic perspective of the Lone Peak 13 swords. Therefore, the sword intent and the poetic perspective of the Lone Peak 13 swords were more or less related. As long as I combine the Lone Peak 13 swords into one movement, its power would definitely be more powerful than the one sword attack. But of course it would only be temporary. The one sword attack would improve along with my cultivation, and its power would increase as well. Sooner or later it would surpass the one sword attack. Killing beasts after beasts, Yi-chan thought to himself. Swoosh! Another mid-level level 6 demonic beast was assassinated without the slightest bit of resistance. Chapter 203. As the days passed, the number of demonic beasts increased. Within a radius of more than 20,000 li, there were traces of demonic beasts everywhere, covering the sky and covering the earth. The Gold Tripod City was the only big city within the Beast Waves area. It was more than 100 miles in both width and length, which was even bigger than the Wind City and the Happy City in the Windy Nation. The population had reached an astonishing 15 million, which was equivalent to the total population of 20 small cities. On the streets, clasping Yuan Realm warriors could be seen everywhere, and condensing reality realm warriors were everywhere. As for the astral reaching realm warriors, they were not that rare anymore. Look, isn't that the inner master of the sky-flying devil martial school, the Black Crow Man? The one beside him should be the fire spirit, right? The two of them used to be enemies decades ago. I did not expect that they would become good friends walking side by side today. Martial geniuses would usually compete with each other. The Black Crow Man and the Fire Spirit were both considered mid-level martial geniuses back in the day. It was because they did not want to lose that they managed to break through to the mid-astral reaching realm together. You are right. If a martial genius does not have a martial genius opponent, they would lose their passion very soon. Once there are a lot of martial geniuses, it would be easier for a martial genius to appear. As for the discussions, the Black Crow Man had always chosen to ignore them. He laughed and said, Fire Spirit, you have killed one less rank 7 beast than me. Seems like I still have the advantage. The Fire Spirit said seriously, you have only killed 3 rank 7 beasts. One of the 2 beasts I have killed was a top rank 7 beast. Regardless, it is a fact that I have killed more rank 7 beasts than you. The Black Crow Man did not let go of this point. The Fire Spirit was filled with a battling intent. Why don't we fight again? A couple of months ago we did not have a winner. This time we might have to fight for a winner. Who is afraid of you? After the beast wave you can choose the location. The two entered a restaurant and were still bickering. The manager did not dare to disturb the two, so he followed behind with a smile. Manager, let's sit here. Give us some dishes that go well with the wine and some good wine. The two of them sat by the window and the Black Crow Taoist ordered the manager. All right, it will be ready soon. The shopkeeper nodded and bowed as he retreated. Looking at the warriors walking on the street, the Fire Spirit suddenly sighed. Time flies so fast. Decades have passed in a blink of an eye. Yeah. Being able to reach late astral reaching realm in this lifetime is already our limit. We won't be able to reach higher realms. To be able to reach late astral reaching realm, I am already very satisfied. Speaking of which, we are not considered powerful geniuses. The powerful geniuses are mostly Sea of Soul realm experts. Not at all. I thought Xuanho's generation was the peak of all the martial geniuses. But now, it seems that the current generation of martial geniuses is the real peak, even comparable to the ancient era. For example, the Fire Spirit Prince of your Fire Spirit Martial School, he has already reached the peak level late clasping Yuan realm at the age of 22. He is even more talented than the head disciple of my Sky Flying Devil Martial School. The Black Crow Man complimented. The fire spirit shook his head. There is still a long way to go. I think only the last hidden dragon rank warrior from the South Rudra region could catch up with Xianhou. But it is only a possibility, since Xianhou had already reached the astral reaching realm at the age of 18. No one in the whole true spirit continent had ever broken this record. In the past 1,000 years no one had been able to do it. No one had been able to do it in the past 1,000 years. It is indeed the highest honor. But Xianhou is a special case after all. Judging from the number and quality of the martial geniuses, this generation is indeed the peak. Soon the food and drinks were served. The two ate and chatted at the same time. They were only 500 miles away from the gold tripod city. Yichun and the beautiful lady had once again fallen into a crisis. This time they were facing a top-rank 6 beast, the Iron Scale Beast, which looked like a dog and was covered in black scales. Arc light rain cut. The lady extended her body, waving the curved blade in her hand for hundreds of times within a second. Countless arc-shaped blade chi landed on the Iron Scale Beast's body like a heavy rain. Ding! Ding! Countless sparks appeared. The lady's blade chi could only leave a slight mark on the Iron Scale Beast's body. She could not even break its scales. We can't do it anymore. This Iron Scale Beast is not as powerful as the Wind Wolf, but it is still not something we can handle. Yi Chen's body kept moving, looking for the weak spots of the Iron Scale Beast. Hearing her, he said, 500 miles is not that far. You go to the gold tripod city first, I will stall the beast. The Iron Scale Beast did not have the bloodline of an ancient beast, so it could not be counted as a tyrant of the rank 6 beasts. But, normal peak-level late clasping Yuan realm warriors would have a high chance of dying if they encountered it. Only martial geniuses who had trained even more powerful martial skills would be able to beat it. Of course, some peak-level late clasping Yuan realm warriors who had no hope of reaching the astral reaching realm, and had spent a lot of time studying powerful martial skills could also beat it, or even kill it. However, one of them was a mid-clasping Yuan realm warrior, and the other was a peak-level early clasping Yuan realm warrior. In terms of cultivation, they were completely suppressed by the Iron Scale Beast. In terms of power, they were also completely suppressed. If it were not for Yi Chen's flying art, which allowed him to create Zhanqi shadows to confuse his opponent, he would have been torn into pieces already. The lady was shocked. You can handle it by yourself? I have more than 50% chance of escaping, Yi Chen said. After hesitating for a while, the lady said, My name is Guolanhue, one of the attendants of the Moon Pavilion. This time I owe you a favor. If you have any trouble in the future, you can come find me at the Moon Pavilion. She knew that Yi Chen's flying art was very powerful. If he was alone, he would have a great chance of escaping. If he brought her along, it would be troublesome. You be careful. Pushing her Zhanqi, Guolanhue extended her body and flew out like a flying bird. Roar! The Iron Scale Beast was annoyed by Yi Chen. Seeing that Guolanhue had escaped from the battle, a red flame flashed through its eyes. It opened its mouth and let out a pile of burning beast chi. Woo! The air twisted intensely as the red beast chi followed right behind Guolanhue. Guolanhue had performed some kind of flying art. Her body flashed once, and she suddenly changed her trajectory. The red beast chi brushed past her and destroyed all of her protective Zhanqi. Luckily, it was only the aftermath of the beast chi, which did not hurt her at all. After flashing a couple of times, she had already appeared miles away. Lone Peak kill. While the Iron Scale Beast was distracted, Yi Chen lifted up his star scar sword and stabbed right into the beast's neck. There was a gray spot there, which was indeed its weak spot. Not good. Separate. The star scar sword was stuck after piercing 5 inches in. Yi Chen's body shook a little as he separated into 3 Zhanqi shadows, while his real body backed out quickly. Boom! 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 The Iron Scale Beast had only used one claw attack to tear apart Yi Chen's 3 Zhanqi shadows. These days, the Lone Peak kill has combined another 2 sword movements. Its power has increased tremendously, but it is still not enough to hurt the Iron Scale Beast. The merging speed of the Lone Peak kill was getting slower and slower. In the first couple of days he had combined 3 movements in a row, but now he had only combined 2. Without Yi Chen's expectation, it would be even more difficult for him to combine the 10th and 11th movements. It would not be surprising if the difficulty was doubled. No matter what, with that sword attack, the iron scale beast had still been slightly wounded. Although it was not a big deal, how could it not be angry? It opened its mouth and spewed out beams of red beast chi towards Yi-chan. The huge amount of red beast chi looked like a perfect balsam flower in the air, with a huge attacking range. There was nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. Yi-chan bit on his teeth as he pushed his mysterious Zhan Qi with all of his power. He built layers after layers of Zhan Qi barriers in front of him, each 1/2 inch thick. Pop! 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 The speed of Yi-chan's Zhan Qi barriers could not keep up with the speed of the red beast Qi breaking through. In a split second, only the last 3 Zhan Qi barriers were left. The remaining power of the red beast Qi had not disappeared yet, and it continued to break through the defense. Meanwhile, the iron scale beast had already jumped over. It raised its right claw and attacked towards Yi-chan. One sword attack. Holding the sword with both of his hands, Yi-chan had never been so focused before. His whole soul seemed to have been infused with the sword aura and sword intent. He threw out a sword attack towards the red beast Qi and the iron scale beast. Chin. The second the Zhan Qi barrier disappeared, the sword light shone even brighter. It was like a blue lightning striking down, clashing with the iron scale beast's huge claw. Sparks flew everywhere as Yi-chan was blown away, puking out a mouthful of blood. Surprisingly, the iron scale beast could not stop its body either, and was forced to move back 1/2 meter. Before, Yi-chan's attack could only shake its body slightly, and this time, the sword light was even more powerful. Even Yi-chan did not expect that he would be able to throw out a sword attack like this. I can feel that my sword intent has improved again. If 30% of the sword intent is the entry-level sword intent, then I should be at 40% now. 99% would be the entry-level sword intent, and 100% would be the completion-level sword intent. While his body was being pushed back, many thoughts flashed through Yi-chan's mind. Sword intent was a very mysterious thing. Only those who had the sword intent would be able to sense the level of their own or other people's sword intent. The others could only analyze it through comparison. Just then, when he had completely infused his mind into the sword intent and the sword aura, Yi-chan's sword intent had improved. It seemed to be more concentrated and condensed, and the sword light had become even more powerful. Alright, although a lot of people had died in the beast wave, it was also a good training for me. I might be able to learn the entry-level sword intent in a shorter time. There was no difference in the power of the entry-level sword intent and the completion-level sword intent. However, the completion-level sword intent was the only way to reach a higher level. I made a breakthrough. After realizing what had just happened, Yi-chan suddenly realized that his Zhan Qi had been circulating faster. The Zhan Qi spiral inside his dantian had expanded, and the color in the center had become even darker. Gradually it looked like a star, which was the sign of reaching the mid-clasping Yuan realm. Only those who walked out from mountains of corpses and oceans of blood are truly powerful warriors. This saying was not wrong at all. After 1/2 month of killing, Yi-chan had accumulated a lot of power. If he had trained for a while, he would have reached the mid-clasping Yuan realm sooner or later. However, under the pressure of the iron scale beast, his speed had been pushed forward. There was only a slight difference between the mid-clasping Yuan realm and the peak-level early-clasping Yuan realm. However, Yi-chan was already one of the top warriors in all aspects. Even the slightest improvement in his cultivation would have a great impact on his power. With his current power, he could easily beat the iron scale beast before. Right now, the iron scale beast was extremely furious. Burning red beast chi gathered around its body as it jumped towards Yi-chan at an extremely fast speed, trying to kill Yi-chan with one claw attack. Shoo! Its huge body turned into a shooting star. The iron scale beast's speed had suddenly reached beyond the speed of sound. The black scales on its body started to shine with a red light. Great, I also want to see how powerful I am now. Without stepping back, Yi-chan threw out a sword attack with all of his power. As the sword attack was thrown out, a bright blue sword light shone brightly. Even the air had been torn apart, and the space in front of Yi-chan turned into a vacuum. You're tuning into the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.